Hello, SNA Assassinators. 10 seconds after making the best AEW collision review video. And we're going to be talking about what exactly went down about moments later after the collision show on Battle of the Belts. Part 11 on AEW on AEW programming, I guess you could say, with the CMLL Women's World Championship and the AEW Women's World Championship and the not the ROH Trios Tag Team Championship being on the line. Well, actually, I think Thomas Tony Storm's belt was a eliminator match, like for a later date. But we got Thomas Tony Storm taking on Ty Valkyrie. But before I get in that, they got a hype up about Darby Allin being a double number one contender for All In for the TNT Championship, and the following month on September's Grand Slam against Swerve Strickland or Bryan Danielson, whoever walks out of Wembley Stadium as the AEW World Champion, get a shot at that belt. And then we also got some very goofy stuff they showed like on at the San Diego Comic-Con with the AEW and the wrestlers making the appearance there with Mercedes Moné hilariously dressed up as what's her name, Poison Ivy, and Camille dressed up as Bane, I believe. Yeah, which that was goofy wrestling of that night, which I believe that was a couple of nights ago. Even though it was just it was a convention for not only just like for wrestlers to join, but everybody that's into like comic books and superhero stuff. Like, yeah. But anyway, and also they talk about MJF winning the AEW World Championship. Everything basically what's going on with AEW lately, with MJF winning the AEW International Championship, and then with Will Ospreay trying to be more willing and determined to get that belt back from the residential scumbag of All Elite Wrestling. But for now, without any further delays, I got the Thomas Tony Storm versus Ty Valkyrie right here to talk about today, or tonight more likely, because it is nighttime after all. Here's where Thomas Tony Storm was ready. We put her for Dukes. This is where then we got Ty Valkyrie's what you do not get, I'm your future face of this women's division. I already say that before I give and it is where she was and this where she was also don't rush like me. I got to take off my shades off. It's very it's not easy to just take it off my face and properly put it back in my case. And then this where it's you know what? I'm gonna let you keep them because these are useless to me now. This where she throw it right up onto her. And this is where the time starts over, you were going to throw them away like that. And this is where Ty Valkyrie's oh, I got a closet full of these. This is where Thomas starts over, okay, I'll take them. I need some shades to match my husband anyways, or my husband anyways. Miss Juicius, I guess you could call him. This where then Ty Valkyrie's okay, whatever you say. This is where she gave she grits her teeth like if she's a female Grinch. This is where thinking other things in her mind. This is where she go for a Luthes press onto Ty Valkyrie, send her right to the left. So no left off the top corner side is where she hits a knee strike right onto Ty Valkyrie. She just start hitting some strikes right onto the wife of Johnny TV. Then going for a suplex. This is where Thomas Tony Storm's oh, you want some more? There's plenty more left in the tank. This is where we got Thomas Tony Storm to go for a snapmare right on, or no, I was trying to say a toss right onto the other side on the right side onto Ty Valkyrie. This is where Thomas Tony Storm you want some more? Like I said, putting more on the tank, and I'm not talking about my husband's tank. And this was oh my god! And since I'm in a very pissed off mood, I'm gonna add in imagine that you look like Mariah. And this is where she goes for a running hip attack. She hits her right into the face. She sends her right to the bottom corner onto the ringside area. Thomas Tony Storm's who's liking this, ladies and gents? And then this is where fans we do, you're our favorite women's wrestler in this company. And then this is where Thomas Tony Storm get in the ring, but you know how referees are when wrestlers are very very enthusiastic of beating their opponents up. Like, and I was like, why don't you just let them beat them up? It's not like they're hanging on the ropes. Like, it just don't make no sense. Like, that's 2+2 = potatoes for the referees to do that. But this is where we got Thomas Tony Storm grab onto Taya Valkyrie, but she gets sent right face first right on the sin, but still steps in the bottom left side. This is where she is double knees right to the face of Meteor even. I was like, what is up with that move being the most common move in PW in the modern day? But this is where then we got Taya Valkyrie like start stomping him. She was like, Tony Storm, like, why are you cheering for her when you should be cheering for me, your future AEW Women's Champion? That's where they start walking around taunting the timeless 1920s actress stick player. This is where she slapped her right onto her chest. I did not, and this is where then I start seeing something, a red stain right onto the sports bra onto Timeless Tony Storm. And no, I was not trying to look at her TITs because I'm not a pervert. But anyway, this is where we got Taya Valkyrie went right back in the ring, got back out in the ring. This is where she tried to send Timeless Tony Storm right back. Try to send Timeless Tony Storm right into the upper right side onto the Barry's tombstone. But this is where Tony Storm fought right back and hit a chop right into his chest, right into her chest. And then this is where I was like, I hope that's not blood like leaking out onto her from TITs. Like, yeah, if that was so, I believe the referee would have called for this match and cancel it. Like, and I canceled this match like into a no contest, I believe. I tried to attempt to do that, but Thomas Tony Storm probably would argue with the ref. Like, there would have been some really medical concerns. I believe that was like her lipstick that was sweating out of her lips and then probably drip right down onto her sports bra, I guess you could say. That explains why it's red, because she was wearing red lipstick after all. This is where the fans start chanting, Tony, Tony, Tony. This is where we got what's her name? Taya Valkyrie then hit a fly. What's that? A slamming. What's that called? A slamming face buster electric chair kind of maneuver. This is where she's staring at the camera. Did a big smile, like imposing, like if she's Timeless Tony Storm, start mocking her, like saying like she plays as an actress, like I am the actress. And I was like, oh yeah, if that's so, why you're not getting any movie or TV series roles? Well, how do I know that? Like, how do I know if it's not like in private TV series or even in movies? Like that's on the streaming services. So I'm not gonna quick to judge though that claim to be something like that they may or may not be, like just unless I've seen their background before. But this is where we got Taya Valkyrie start hitting every single maneuver on moves, I should say, with a huge plural. Like every maneuver in the playbook, and even a single-legged Boston Crab. Like, but this is where still Timeless Tony Storm still hangs on to the ropes. Get a rope break in the right side. Taya Valkyrie's like, okay, like that did not work, unfortunately. Like, but no worries. Like I got pretty more maneuvers to do to you, like, and then like which it's like 3,767 more to do. This is where we got her eyes went right to the upper right corner side, but this is where she gets leap dodge right, hit right into the turnbuckle. Thomas Tony Storm, the official women's suplex. Actually, this is where she go for a single-legged pin, but this is where we got the Taya Valkyrie kick out at 2.1. This is where we got her going right up onto the bottom turnbuckle in the upper right side. This is where Timeless Tony Storm then going for a running hip attack, I believe. This is where Timeless was like, yeah, like say cheese. And this is where she clicked with a running hip right into her face. This is where we got Timeless Tony Storm going for a Storm Zero, but she gets instantly countered by Taya Valkyrie. But before she can even hit a comeback maneuver onto Tony, this is where she kicks her right in the gut, hits a sit out DD. This is where she try to go for a cover, but this is where we got Taya Valkyrie kicking out at 2.7. This is where the Timeless Tony Storm, like, really, like, even though it's neither my signature nor my finisher, but it could have been something. This is where Tony Storm's like, okay, none of that matters now because I got another maneuver I have in mind that I want to do to the Miss Taya. But this is where we got Taya Valkyrie was somehow purposely slapping Tony's TITs off, like by slapping her hard and hard and hard to knock them off, so she could stop talking about chin up and TITs out. But the last time we saw her saying that was like weeks ago, like when Mariah May was still teaming with her. But this is where we got her going for a swift kick right into her back when she draped her right into the right corner side middle ropes. This is where she runs right into the diagonal side and the left side ropes. This is where she goes for a legs, a baseball sliding German suplex combo maneuver onto Tony, like if she's a female Shinsuke Nakamura. This is where then she was like, yeah, like who wants to see this pretty face on the camera? I was like, I'm not sure if the term pretty is the word I would use, but this is where we got Ty Valkyrie didn't go into the ring, try to go for a pin, but this is where she was getting very ticked off. She starts slapping her hands like, I gotta think straight. I need to come up with a foolproof maneuver to hit onto Time Stone Storm. She's like, oh, I got it. I could just hit the Valhalla. Like the last time I hit that maneuver was onto the Jade Cargill. Like I could do it to Tony. Even though I did successfully did the Jade, but who knows? I could do it. I could do it to Time Stone Storm, get a win, but this is where we got Time Stone Storm somehow counter out of it. She eyes went right to the top corner rope, but she gets end up with an interception spear. But this is where Ty Valkyrie try again. She managed to hit the Valhalla onto Time Tony Storm with a guaranteed. Guaranteed in the match, but the one thing that wasn't a guarantee was the pinfall with a 1-2-3. And this is where we got Ty Valkyrie that tied up her legs. This is where then she did start going for right forearms right to the back onto Time Tony Storm. Just repeatedly hits him hits him right hands to the head. This is where then she goes for like some kind of a sleeper like maneuver onto the Timeless One. This is where we got This is where we got Thomas Tony Storm was like, let go, like I will not surrender. This is where then we got Ty Valkyrie's like, who's your favorite wrestler now? This is where we got fans like not you, that's for damn sure. This is where Ty Valkyrie's like, well, you should change your mind. This is where she continues doing the sleeper on the Tony. This is where we got Tony trying to reach for the ropes in the right corner side. This is where she hilariously starts slapping her rear end. Like, and I was like, is this supposed to be legal? Like, even though she's not hitting her with a steel chair, but still, like, that's like, I don't think Juice Robinson would like Ty Valkyrie doing that, even though she's a female, like taunting her. But I don't think nobody would like that whatsoever. But this is where we got Ty Valkyrie going for a pinfall, but this is where we got Time and Stone Storm going for putting her right leg right up onto the right side ropes. But this is where Ty Valkyrie was like, come on, like this is not like it's not working. Like what do I got to do in order to defeat Tony? This is where she's like, stay down, like don't get back up, like don't stay awake. And this is where then she picks right back up, but it was not so long after for Tony to hit a slide forward headbutt collided right onto the Taya's head. This is where then she followed that up with a Storm Zero for a guaranteed 1-2-3. And the winner of this match, and still the champ, or what Time Tony Storm would call herself. She was like guess who's guess who this is where she sent the message while sending a message to Mariah May. This is where she said right on camera. She was like, the tramp is still the champ. Her words, not mine. Like I could call her a lot of names, except for insulting names, but I don't think tramp would be the right word to use her as. Or to use to describe her as, I should say. Or not use her, but well, I'm not even saying right now, but yeah, I'll say that the term tramp wouldn't be the word I would use to describe her. But yeah, but I guess it makes sense because it indeed rhymes, so that makes sense. But this word then we got this is where Tom starts talking like, yeah, Mariah May. And this is where fans are like, boo. We don't want to see that traitor in this town. This is where the Tom starts talking like, yeah, like you were like so absolutely perfect. Like you were like a perfect version of me. This is where she started going into tears, started crying. And then her fans started feeling her pain. Like, we're so sorry. Like, we sorry that she tricked you. She was like, yeah, she was like, you were like a much better version of me. Like, and it's where she started crying like continuously and unstoppably. She was like, and sometimes like you were you were a better me than I was. And then this is where the fans were like, yeah, she was. And then like, but not now because she finally showed her true colors on what she really wants, and that is what you have right underneath you, and that is that AEW Women's World Championship. It is where the time of Tony Storm was like, like maybe I made a huge mistake of of having her join me in this alliance, like because when you hurt me in the on tab ramp on what's the city they were Calvary, yeah. Yeah, Calvary. This word that you're like, yeah, I was on my knees, like begging you, like screaming and crying, and bleeding and get screaming your name, Mariah. And then this word, then fans like, yeah, like you should. And this was like, if you were so desperate of trying to take everything from me, you should have cut my bloody head off. And she said it by screaming in a very emotional manner. This is where she picks up the AEW Women's World Championship, and she was like, like as long as I breathe, like here, like with this AEW World Championship, like you will never be me. And this is where she started doing that pose, like yeah, like I will forever be timeless and stuff like that. This is where fans are chanting, Tony, 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 Tony. And I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, even if Mariah May would wanted to decapitate Thomas Tony Storm in order to replace her, I I don't think she would had the chance to do it because I don't think Tony Khan would allow her to do it, even in kayfabe, because even in a wrestling storyline, like that's still illegal. Like she'll be thrown into wrestling AEW kayfabe jail for doing that. Not trying to throw any snitching threats onto the former protege of Thomas Storm, but just saying, looking at a realistic perspective. But this is where we got a backstage interview from Lexi Nair to Kip Sabian next. Is where she started pointing out the opposites of him being in the program with be in some kind of a heated feud with Nick Wayne, teasing that he's gonna most likely going to be turned into a babyface. This what starts sounding like. That's why it starts sounding like a babyface. Like, yeah, in the last 4 months of I'll be missing out of action. Like, but one positive I can take away, like maybe I realize what's most important, and what's important to me, like is doing with making my family proud. Like, what's the most important? Being the best wrestler in this company. And then I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, like I see exactly why they're turning him babyface now. Like the other reason, like next to him being in this program with Nick Wayne and the rest of the patriarchy, like because they're gonna about to be in his home country of England in AEW All In, so it makes sense to make him a baby face. Like they should make at least like 99% of all the Britain wrestlers, maybe even Soraya as baby faces, just to get them ready to be in programs in the Wembley Stadium a show. But this is where then it's like, yeah, the patriarchy like rubbed into my face. They got a number give me, but he's like, and yeah, but like at the same time, like Nick Wayne, I saw you at that Royal Rampage just the other. You did a pretty good showing. Like, but what happened, Nick? Like, you came to me, like you step up to me, like and you like I'm gonna let this go in this moment, but you don't know, like, but one thing like you know exactly like how like it like who was the better man in that bout, and I am better than ever. And do you think this is a teaser that we could possibly see the Butcher and the Blade can come together with Kip Sabian and then reform their trio alliance? Like this time is baby faces against the patriarchy, and they finally have their moment of becoming trios tag team champions. It's possible. That's only if the Butcher can come back from his injury much more sooner rather than expected later on. But next up, we got Willow the Pillow Nightingale, the Nightingale next, defended her CMLL Women's World Championship against the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, where Willow Nightingale started doing her clap on the way to the ring, like, or something like that. Yeah, this is where we got the match starting. This is where it started off with Deonna Purrazzo going for a big boot, but Willow Nightingale counters are going for a knife edge chop. And they're trying to take a page out of Ty Valkyrie's playbook because you try to use it in her own arsenal. This is where she try to iron flip the Vorchiosa from the top corner to the bottom corner. But this is where we got once Deonna Purrazzo hang on to the bottom corner rope. She hang on. This is where Willow the Pillow then try to the clothesline actually right onto the bottom corner the ringside area, but she gets elbow strike right back onto the diagonal side in the top corner. This is where we got Deonna Purrazzo start twisting back onto Willow's arm, but Willow start fighting back, start going for a twist on her own. This is where they start fighting right back. They're going forward and back. It is where fans start chanting, "Let's go, Deonna!" Let's go, Willow. This is where they start going back and forth with those chants. Like one half are the Willow fans, while the other half are Deonna fans. Is where we got Deonna Purrazzo got Willow the Pillow right onto her shoulders. Is where she tried to go for a pin, like 1, 2. But every time she tried to go for a pin, like 3 straight times, she still kicks out. This is where we got Willow Nightingale kicks her right in the gut. This is where she body slammed her. Once she got back up, this is where Willow Nightingale's like, okay, all right, like I'm back on my game. This is where she tried to go for a power slam to follow up with it, but this is where she gets pushed right to the bottom corner once Deonna Purrazzo fell right out of her grasp. This is where she gets shoulder tackled though. This is where then she try to run right. This is where the Pillow then went right to the right side. This is where we got Deonna Purrazzo dodges her, but this is where she ends up getting thrown right to the left side. This is where she dodges out of duck out of a clothesline. This is where she went to the right side rope. This is where she tried to go for a flying head scissors maneuver, but she ends up getting sidewalk slam by the Pillow. This is where she went to the right side. She gets crossbody. This is where then Willow to go for a pin, but this is where we got Deonna Purrazzo kicks out at 2.7, I believe. This is where then we got Willow Nightingale. Okay, that did not work, unfortunately. This is where she tried to send her right to the bottom left side. This is where we got Willow went to the upper right side. Hits a big splash. Send her right down to the bottom corner of the egg. This is where she tried to go for a cannonball, but she getting a chance to even flip right over. She gets tripped right over on her knee. This is where she hits face first right to the turnbuckle. Deonna Purrazzo then picks up the Pillow. This is where then she goes for a suplex, but she ends up it's a strike right to Purrazzo's face. She hits her with an arm bar right onto her left arm, right onto the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, as a matter of fact. That's where then AEW was on picture-in-picture while Deonna Purrazzo was trying to get back on her feet and try to do some more very punishing pain onto Willow the Pillow, even going for this little this leg lock that she came up with. This is where the Willow the Pillow then somehow flipped right out of her grasp. This is where she shoulder rammed her right to the bottom right side. This is where she followed that up with a suplex. This is where Willow the Pillow then hit a belly-to-belly suplex. And this is where then we got Willow Nightingale then go up right up on the top rope. This is where then she goes for a moonsault, but this is where we got Deonna Purrazzo then trips her right over, landing right up on the top rope. This is where she tried to put her in the Trio Vogue position, but this is where she was like, you know what, flub it. Like this is where when she flipped right out onto the corner, like in the bottom right side, is where we got this is where first Will got her arm underneath the ropes. This is where Deonna Purrazzo tried to go for pins, like up, like it's the rope break. But this is where we got Deonna Purrazzo put her the way. This is where she tried to go for pin, but she only got a 1 even pin. Where Will the Pillow put her arm right back into that exact same ropes in the bottom and to the bottom rope in the right corner. This is where then we got Deonna Purrazzo go for like a pile driver like maneuver onto the Willow next, like with her arms wrapped around between her legs. But this is where we got Willow then start hitting some punches like left, right, left. This is where she tried to go for my finishing maneuver, which I was about to be happy for her to do so. But this is where we got Deonna Purrazzo countered and push her right to the left side. This is where we got Willow to go for an arm drag. A wrist lock into a Death Valley driver, which I would call it the Assassin Valley driver because it is indeed the most dominating move in all of professional wrestling. But But the other thing that I was very disappointed about, it did not give her the win though, because Deanna Prazo kicks out at the final second. I was like, really? Like, how very disrespectful. Like, and this where yeah, she kicked out at 2.999999999. Don't my mind you going away from being 3. I was kind of disappointed that I did not give Willow the win, but that's where fans start chanting for Willow next. This is where then she hits her face first right onto the upper left side onto the turnbuckle. This is where she puts her up right up on the top turnbuckle. This is where we got Willow to try to go for an avalanche suplex. Because yeah, she does it very well, and nobody cannot suplex her. Like, and it's kind of similar to like how Kevin Owens is like these are the top 2 wrestlers that cannot get suplexed off the top rope. Like, it's just a proven fact in PW right now. But they can suplex their opponents right off the top rope. This is what Willow did here to Deanna Purrazzo. This was like, boom, suplex her right into the middle of the ring, picks her right back up. This is where she tried to go for official woman suplex, but this is where Deanna Purrazzo counter, go for a wrist lock. It's a forearm strike right onto the face of the pillow. This is where Will Nightingale then fall right back, hit a forearm right back at her, going for a forearm war, playing wrestling tennis with one another. Where fans start cheering on Willow while they're booing Deanna, because she plays an excellent heel. This is where she boots her right into both her left and right arm. This is where Willow bounced right back into the left side, hits a sliding clothesline right onto Deanna Purrazzo. Both women were down onto the ground. This is where we got what's her name? Deanna Purrazzo's new ally, which is Taya Valkyrie, that wrestled earlier tonight, and that was against Thomas Tony Storm just like about half an hour ago. But this is where she was like, you know what, like, since I'm still in my gear and I'm haven't left the arena like just quite yet, this was like, I thought I might give a gift to with my best friend Deanna, making this as an excuse, like, just get in to help out the pillow. This is where she got. This is where she saw. This is where we saw exactly what was right behind her, but she claims it was for Deanna, but really it was for Willow, and there was a pipe right on the behind her back. This is where she pointed it out to the cameraman. When she pointed that out, they she's gonna do exactly when the referee is not looking. Gonna use that for his advantage. This is where we got Willow try to go for a German suplex onto Deanna Purrazzo, but Deanna Purrazzo gotta go for a German suplex of her own. But Willow count out that is where you go right into like some kind of a rolling kind of maneuver. But this is where we got Deanna Purrazzo to try to grab on not to the pipe. No, it was part of that turnbuckle pole that holds up the turnbuckles on the corners. Like she tried to help her out last. I mean, not tried. She did. She helped out Deanna Purrazzo by giving her that exact same weapon onto his world champion. She helped out, like, made a new friend with Willow, if not already, by having a common enemy of Deanna and Taya, with her coming in for the aid of Willow and beating a living sugar honey iced tea out of the wife of Johnny TV. This is where she sent her right back in the locker room. This is where it's like, oh no, like, I'm not going to allow this to happen again. Like, it's already bad enough. You did this to me. Like, I'm going to get my revenge. And this is where they went right back in the locker room, spinning around, start beating the hell out of each other. Deanna Purrazzo hits a big right hand to the face of Willow, but Willow moved right out of the way once Deanna Purrazzo was about to hit a running attack move, but she end up with an interception pouncing tackle by the pillow. This is where then she picks right up, hits the doctor bomb, gets the 1, 2, 3, and still the CMLL Women's World Champion, Willow the Pillow Nightingale, the Night Terror. And I want to give a huge and ginormous congratulations. And how I'm gonna do this, like, I think the both women's championship match ties at number 2, while the trios tag team championship match was a blast. Yeah, it was a massively fantastic match. Like, the best way to describe it. The best way I would put it. But let me know down in the comments below, how would you rate AEW's Battle of the Belts matches on tonight after AEW Collision? Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, next up, we're going to move on to the next slide. On to that is where we got the match starting with with the all natural Dustin Rhodes come out with the sons of Kevin Von Erich, which is the Von Erichs, the young Von Erichs, which is Ross and Marshall. Yeah, Ross and Marshall. Which is, I believe it started off with on which they took on the Undisputed Kingdom of Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Kingdom of Roddy Strong, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett, which they were trying to look forward of winning the trios version of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship, which Mike Bennett and Matt Taven already won the duos version of the regular Tag Team Championship of ROH. This is where we got a special commentator, which was none other than the former Well is the Big Show, which is his real name known as Paul White. And then the one thing that shocked me, like I did not know that he was an executive director of executive director of AEW's Ring of Honor show that Tony Khan now owns. But yeah, this is where he was a special commentator with the rest of the commentators, like with Excalibur and I believe Nigel and what's his name, Tony Schiavone. It's where it started off with, I believe, Marshall, was it? Was it Ross? It was. What was it? It was. Who was it in the match? Anyways, it was. It was one of them. It was. It was. It was Ross. It was Ross Von Erich. That's who it was. It was, Ross and Roderick Strong. This is where Ross then tried to go for a headlock, but Roderick Strong tried to counter to a wrist lock, which he eventually got it done, which we got Ross and got Roderick Strong in a back to belly maneuver, but this is where we got Roderick Strong go for a wrist lock. This is where then right back, but this is where we got Ross then go for a kip up, hit a drop kick on the Strong. This is where he was like, just putting him over where that came from. This is where eyes went right to the into the left corner side. This is where he gets tagged in by his brother Marshall. He ran down for a side dunk. This is where Marshall Von Erich goes for a drop kick. This is where we got. This is where then Ross was like, yeah, let's get this party started. This is where then he goes for a headlock onto Roderick Strong, but Roderick Strong sent him right to the bottom right side. This is where he starts spinning him right to the shoulder, tags in Mike Bennett. This is where he starts stomping right onto the midsection. This is where they started some knife edge chops, some forearm strikes. This is where then we got. This is where he goes for a headlock. This is where then we got him then going for hip toss. This is where then we got this is where we got Marshall's like this. Put where that came from. And he had two more hip toss. This is where then he the last one, like it was about to be his third consecutive one. This is where he gets countered, like just gets kicked right to the gut. This is where Mike Bennett attacks his partner Matt Taven in. But once he tried to charge and run and attack him, he did not know what move to hit him in particular. But that was a big mistake. This is where he hit some of the hip toss as well. This is where we got Marshall then going for a wrist lock right onto Matt Taven, tagging Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes kicked him right to the midsection. Dustin Rhodes go for a wrist lock on Matt Taven, but Taven hit a big right hand to the face. This is where he started hitting some axe handles repeatedly onto the former Goldust, but this is where he pushes him right onto the left side. The bottom side actually. This is where he then goes for. This is where he Irish whip him right to the to there, but this is where this is where he sends Mike Bennett instead. This is where he hangs on to the rope so he won't get hit with a rope bounded maneuver. This is where he hanged on to Dustin Rhodes' corner in the bottom left side. This is where we got Dustin Rhodes going for a wrist lock onto Matt Taven. This is where he tags in I believe Ross Von Erich. This is where then they go and then like a double team Irish whip, triple Irish whip actually with what's his name, Ross Von Erich joining with him. Ross Von Erich was already in the ring. Also, Marshall Von Erich joined in until Dustin Rhodes left the ring. It was the double team of the Von Erich brothers. Like did their respective. They're running attack moves with Ross going for a big boot while Marshall go for a big clothesline. We got Ross then go for a snapmare onto Taven while we got Marshall then going for a standing moonsault while we got Ross to go for a pin, but this is where Matt Taven eventually kicks out at 1 even, I believe. Oh, no, 2 even, actually. 2 even count. This is where we got That's where we got what's his name? Ross attacking his brother Marshall. He goes for a closeout on the Matt Taven. This is where we got him eyes him right to the bottom right side. This is where he goes for a springboard dodge. This is where he runs right to the top corner. He tried to go for a running attack move, but this is where we got what's his name? Uh running attack, but this is where we got Marshall. We dodged. He goes to the top corner, but he gets hit with a drop kick by Matt Taven. This is where we got Matt Taven like, yeah, like those trios titles belong to the kingdom, and then this was like that belongs to me, Matt, and Roddy, and then this where then Marshall's like, do it, and then this where then he hits a drop kick while being sort of a smartass. Is where he. That's where then he goes for a drop kick on both men. This is where we got that's where they go for a drop kick onto they go for a drop kick, they kick him right into the gut. That's where they send him right to the right top corner side. This is where we got them being sent right into the top corner. This is where we got Dustin Rhodes like, okay, like we I guess we just clean house here. This is where we got that's where the Thomas Tony Storm was like, yeah, there's so many. I said Thomas Tony Storm. Yeah, I mean, that's what she said on the picture of the advertiser on AEW. But this is where AEW Battle of the Belts. But this is where we got Roderick Strong got tagged in. This is where he took care of Marshall Von Erich. This is where then we got but this is where we got Kevin Von Erich start checking on one of his sons of Ross. Saying like, you got this, like you can still do this. Like this is where he then check on him, saying like, is he doing all right? And then this is where, this is where it kind of reminds me of how my dad used to do that. Like when he check out, like when he was checking on like me and my siblings, which that's very cool of dads doing that, like making sure that you're doing okay and being safe, like and not being harmed or being in a very bad situation. Like, but anyways, but yeah, and I guess that's where dads are for, obviously. But this is where we got what's his name? What's his name? Not Marshall. Ross Von Erich then got tagged in. It's where he started going fighting away on all three members of the Undisputed Kingdom. This is where he got until he settled down with Matt Taven. Once he got in the back in the ring, this is where he got into a headlock right on. Or no, it was Matt Taven then counter and go for a headlock onto Marshall, I believe. This is where then we got. This is where then he tried to reach for Dustin, but this is where but he couldn't tag anybody, not even his brother Marshall. But until like he kicks right out of Mike Bennett once he got free from Matt Taven and sent him right to the side. This is where he kicks Mike Bennett right into the right side. And it was Roderick Strong was the last person to stop him, but this is where once he tried to stop him, he ended up in the same fate. But the only bad thing about the babyface is that somehow Mike Bennett got back in the ring. He hits a big forward elbow, right to the face onto his brother Marshall, I believe. That's where Roderick Strong tried to go for a back suplex onto to Ross, but Ross flipped right out of it, right over him, and then right behind him. This is where Roderick Strong turned around. It's like, oh wait a minute, how did he did not just flip right out of it? This is where we got what's his name hits like this corkscrew version of a sling blade right over Roderick Strong. Ross Von Erich, yeah, this is where then he tried attacking his brother Marshall Von Erich, but he nowhere to be found along with Dustin. But Dustin eventually got back up. Like this is where he gets tagged in. Dustin Rhodes to start hitting clotheslines, power slams on the likes of Mike Bennett and Roderick Strong. This is where we got Matt Taven that came in though and tried to go for a springboard axe handle, but he gets gutbuster right into the family jewels. This is where he hits a running bulldog like his brother would have done. This is where we got Dustin Rhodes like, woo, like I'm on fire right now. And there's nothing that's going to extinguish me right now. This is where then he hits him with a Canadian destroyer, which is very rare from the natural one to do, of course. This is where then he got Dustin Rhodes to pick up what's his name? Mike Bennett. This is where he was about to hit his brother's finishing maneuver. This is where he's like, I'm about to finish my story, just like my brother just did. This is where he did it. This is where he followed that up with a pile driver, I believe, which he successfully did hit both of them. And this is where they tried to go for the pin. He probably would have gotten away with it sooner if it wasn't for the meddling Kingdom kids like that came in and helped out their best friend, stomping onto him, just like how Strong did to Pete Dunne, like back in NXT TakeOver New York when he cost him the NXT Tag Team Championships. But this is where we got the Von Erich brothers came out and tried to intervene and help out their teammate of Dustin Rhodes. But this is where they got sent on the outside by Mike Bennett and Matt Taven and Roderick Strong, with Matt Taven sending Ross Von Erich right into the bottom right corner of Rita the ring post. But this is where, luckily, his brother Marshall was there, kicking him in the gut, hit a forearm right to his face. But this is where Roderick Strong came in and outnumbered him, kicked him right in the gut, axe handled him, hit some punches. This is where Dustin Rhodes tried to go for the Shattered Dream, but that's probably not going to get him the win. Much rather the opposite, but give the Kingdom the easy victory of becoming the new Trios Tag Team. If that occurs, like if DQ includes an occurrence of them becoming tag team champion, but at the same time, like I knew that they were not going to win in a way. Like this is definitely the Faces' moment. Like it's just has to be like it. Just, even if they try to pull an upset, like they could be more convincing enough to manage to have us believing that they're going to be the ones that are going to win. But this is where we got Dustin Rhodes kind of got screwed out of from doing the Shattered Dreams onto Mike Bennett, with Ross Strong hanging onto his legs. Like, no, you're not on my watch. This is where he kicks him right off. But this is where Mike Bennett thought he was fully distracted and brought down to Phoenix. This is where he tried to run up and attack him, but the mistake he made by dropping down to Phoenix as well, and he did not know what move to hit him on. Like by running right towards Dustin, he hits him with an elbow strike right to the face. This is where he tried to run up to Mike Bennett, but he gets hit with a double A spine buster. Matt Taven to try to go for a lion salt, but this is where Dustin Rhodes had hit a big low uppercut right onto to Matt Taven. This is where we got what's his name? Mike Bennett try to go for a clothesline. Dustin Rhodes flip right out into a roll up, but this is where Rock Strong get a double axe handle onto Dustin. This is where Matt Taven and Roderick Strong are double teaming Dustin Rhodes, and this is where we got Mike Bennett that joined the fun and triple teaming him when Mike Bennett then hit a big right elbow with Matt Taven did a springboard enziguri while Roderick Strong went right to the top. The right quarter side, not the right quarter, the top quarter. I'm right. It hit a Claymore kick right into the face. This is where we got what's his name? Mike Bennett that came in. And he probably got away with it if it wasn't for them the meddling Von Erich kids that they came in and saved the day. This is where we got Ross and what's his name? Ross and Marshall, they came and started fighting Matt Taven and Roderick Strong. But this time they were victorious in this brawl with Ross throwing Matt Taven right to the bottom corner of the of Barry's tombstone. This is where then we got the same goes to with Marshall Von Erich with Roderick Strong until we got Matt Taven hit a super kick right to his face. This is where we got Roderick Strong hits Marshall right to the face with with Rita the ring post in the bottom right side, like they did with Ross. This is where then we got the Undisputed Kingdom to try to use the AEW Tag Team Championships for their advantage. The clobber of Dustin Rhodes. I was like, even if they did it right in front of Aubrey Edwards' face, then she would crown Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs as the tag team. But this is where we got Mike Bennett that came in and hit the bull rope that Dustin Rhodes brought in, that was from his father, the late Dustin Rhodes. This is where he hits him and clobbers Dustin right to the face. This is where they throw and hide the evidence. This is where Mike Bennett did hurry up and pin Dustin Rhodes. But I don't know how Dustin did this. He kicked out at the final second. I believe everybody in Arlington was very shocked that Dustin kicked out. This is where I was thinking stuff like maybe this is gonna be an upset. And then when I heard that Dustin kicked out, I'm like, he did not got his shoulders up. Like, and this where even the opponents were very shocked that Dustin kicked out. This is where Aubrey Edwards confirmed that it was 2. It's like 2. Like, even like it may seem like it was 3, but no, like I only counted 2. Like, and I was on my way to 3, but he managed to get the shoulder up. This is where Matt Taven and Mike Ben's like, oh, come on. This is where then. That's where then we got all right. Like, we got enough of this funny game. Like, we're gonna. This where then we got. He's like, yeah, we got enough of. You have enough of your boys, old man. This is where Matt Taven told to Kevin Von Erich. He was like, what did you train these boys? Like so much. Like, curse you. Like why? I wish that you died along with your brothers that half of them just killed himself or something like that, blah, blah, blah. I'd say it's a very unforgiving, heelish stuff to the legendary wrestler. But this is where we got Kazuchika Shibata came in and help out Kevin Von Erich to shut him up and hit the Iron Claw right onto the Matt Taven, while we got Kevin Von Erich doing it to Roderick Strong, doing the Iron Claw right into their forehead, like squeezing their brains out, like shut up, we have enough of your bull sugar honey iced tea. This is where we got Matt Taven to try to go for his fireman's maneuver, but this is where Dustin Rhodes somehow flipped right out of it once he saw the Von Erich brothers of the sons of Kevin Von Erich. Then and this is where then we got he flipped right out and pushed him right over to I believe was Ross. He hits a knee strike. This is where we got Dustin. This is where it was a discus close on to the Marshall Von Erich. It was a discus close on with Dustin Rhodes hitting this twister neck breaker maneuver right onto the Mike Bennett. He gets the pinfall. Aubrey Edwards count to 1, 2, 3, and the winners of this match and the new Ring of Honor Trios Tag Team Champions, Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs. And I want to give a ginormous congratulations on a very amazing main event that they just did right now. It was very magnificently great, and I want to give a ginormous thumbs up of doing the unthinkable and doing the impossible as well. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But yeah, they celebrated with them being crowned the new Ring of ROH Trios champions, with everybody from Dustin Rhodes' wrestling school and everybody that the Von Erichs knows, and yeah, they came out to celebrate with the new Trios Tag Team Champions of ROH, and including Paul White even came out there to celebrate them with the new champs as well. And also congratulating them as well. This is where I'm sorry, repeating myself, saying as well, like about 3,000 times. I should say also or two, or yeah, you get the point. But yeah, and even the Top Flight boys even came out to celebrate with them too. And this is where they're like, yeah, new ROH Tag Team Champions. We see we see the new champ, but now we can see more of the young Von Erich guys, in the young Von Erichs, I should say, yeah, which are sons of the legendary Kevin Von Erich. And this where Dustin Rhodes yeah, I finally did it. I finally became champion, even though it's not specifically AEW, but it's AEW's associates, which is ROH. And he's and this is where he looked at the camera and looked like he was saying, Cody, you're not the only wrestler in the family that's holding championship gold or something like that. This is where he holding up. This is where we got the young Von Erich brothers celebrating with their dad and Paul White and Dustin Rhodes right in front of the camera, raising their hands with those three handsome, I guess you could say, Ring of Honor Trios Tag Team Champions. If you could consider those belts as males, maybe they're females. I should say more gorgeous. I'll say maybe if they're females, I'll say more term is the three gorgeous ROH champions, yeah, which they're triplets, I believe there are. But yeah, that's how AEW Battle of the Belts ended, part 11, I believe to be the exact. And I want to give, yeah, again, I'll say it once and I'm going to say it one more time before I close out this video. I want to give a ginormous congratulations to the new Trios champions. And I hope that we see plenty more of them on AEW television. Whether if it's on a Dynamite, whether if it's on a Collision, Rampage, whenever like that they show up as those champs. As those championship titles, I guess you could say, yeah. But yeah, that was the end of AEW Battle of the Belts Part 11. And what was your thoughts on tonight's? What's your thoughts on the AEW? What that the AEW title show? I guess you could call it. I'm not sure what else to put it, but but anyway, my point is like, what was your opinions on AEW? Well, my point is like, what was your thoughts on AEW? What's that? Battle of the Belts, their annual, and I mean not annual, more likely like it's annual, like every three times out of the year, I guess you could say. So I'll say, yeah, let me know about that in the comments below, and what's your take on part 11 of AEW Battle of the Belts from like for them doing this for the last 2 years, I believe, or 2.5 years since the beginning of 2022. Let me know all about that down below. And also, yeah, this was the end of AEW. AEW all together with their Battle of the Belts show doing a thunderous job, which I'll say maybe it's a kind of controversial. I think they did a little bit of a better job, even though there was mostly matches rather than segments. That was for because like for a good reason, because you don't need to have like angles being shown like here and there, like in every corner, like on a very AEW on a very special a show, like what if it's Battle of the Belts or a pay-per-view or whatever the scenario may be. But yeah, I'm gonna give it like about perfectly 5 stars, like for doing a very amazing job. And I want to ask you guys, which one was your favorite match of the night? I'm definitely gonna give it the trios tag team match, even though the women did pretty good, like with the women's world championship of All Elite Wrestling and the CMLL Women's Championship. And I hope I see more of the CMLL Women's Championship. And I might know just the person that could be the one to dethrone them as well. But that'll be a different video for a different day. But let me know in the comments, and I might know who exactly could win it. They might have been they they were all they were already in a feud with them before, but I'm not gonna get into that. Yeah, like I said, a different video for a different day. Hopefully that'd be more featured more often in AEW television, even though it's exclusively CMLL's championship, but yeah, since Willow is the champion and she's gonna be making more often appearances like against the likes of Chris Statlander and who else that try to challenge her for the AEW Women's World Championship. But this Wednesday, she's going to be doing an eliminator match. If Chris Statlander wins, she's going to most likely go get a shot at her championship, which is probably going to be most likely at AEW All In. So stay tuned for that. Like for when like exactly like where like if Chris Statlander wins this Wednesday, like do you think let me know in the comments if she's gonna beat her for the women's championship at the pay-per-view, or do you think that she's gonna retain, like despite her beating her this coming Wednesday? Which I think that's gonna be the scenario to build things up to a AEW TBS championship, which I mean, it could be Willow that could win, and she could retain the privileges of not giving her a shot at the title. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see in the next 4 days from now. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go right here. I'm gonna wish you guys a very fun and blessed night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on the wrestling news video where I'll be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories. Remember that you SNA assassinators need to know from I believe, the Wrestle Talk article. And on July 28, 2024. And I hope you guys a very safe and awesome night. And I'll see you guys on the next video with some more SNA content. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin out of here. Y'all take care, and thank you guys for watching to the very end. I appreciate you being loyal on the channel, and I wish for you many more years of good luck and good health. Bye bye. More likely, blessed luck.